where do we tie up ourselves?
Mm.
When I talk about tie up ourselves,
Yeah.
we're talking about the men,
Yeah.
and then also the women. At
Yeah.
some point, women believe in polygamy, in monogamy.
Monogamy.
But at some point, women choose to go for the polygamous marriages. Where do we tie ourselves, and where does this law now give us a leeway as men to actually go and marry as many women as we can?
As you can.
Yes.
First of all, you have to know that Christian or church marriage is one woman,
Yes.
one man.
Yes.
So that after you've contracted the church marriage,
Yes.
do not think that you're going to contract another form of marriage.
Yes.
You're done.
Yes.
So the case was just trying to re-emphasize what is already in place, the laws that are already in place, that we cannot right now deny, because they were arguing about women's rights vis-a-vis marrying different women. They have no right to health, no right to, decision making in terms of property. But you see, there were very many arguments that came out in the case, but I'll briefly probably talk about it later. But what I wanted to answer you first is, we need to know how these marriages and how this monogamy or polygamy applies to us in society. Number one, if you decide to contract a church marriage today and you take someone before God and they wear a ring, you're done.
Okay.
The other,
That's
when you contact another, I can take you to court for what is called bigamy.
Bigamy, yes.
For getting into another marriage with the existing marriage have not dissolved by court, or you have not done anything to nullify it, to get it out of the way. But if I decide to go for a culture or traditional marriage, and women out there must know this, that if Bravo decides today to introduce a woman, and you don't take them to church, and you go for another woman, and you also don't take that very woman to church, it means it's okay.
I can go as
many as you can. And the law under Uganda Registration Services Bureau is mandated to register that customary marriage. Anyhow, because that is what you have taken up as a culture, and customs have backed you up. So you cannot contract, you cannot now choose amongst them and say, let me take my favorite one to church. No, because the decision is they all must remain on the same level. I had a case where one was taken to church. But another one was culturally introduced. But the one of culture was before. And then she took the case to court to sue my client and the ex-husband, saying this marriage in church must be nullified. Bravo, I read the books. I read case law. There was nowhere my friend's church marriage was valid
or invalid.
It was invalid. I ended up consenting because I know that once that culture dictates, that means if you wanted to contract another marriage and it was going to be legal, it was going to be all customary. One was not going to be preferential over the other, as long as the other one came first. You understand? So sometimes first in right is very important. Which kind of marriage have you celebrated first before you go for the other? It also plays a big role.
So you want to tell me that if a man decides to have two wives today, and these two wives he introduced to number one, and he has introduced the second wife as well. But along the way, or even three wives or four, but along the way, probably one wife convinces him better that let's go to church. And then the man decides his sins are forgiven. Let's talk about he's born again. I've seen this scenario where somebody is married 4 wives. And then he chooses to go and give himself to Jesus Christ. And in this case, he chooses to go and pick one of the wives, the middle wife or the last wife, to go to church with him. Now, is this marriage valid?